Friends, barbershop thrives because it's rooted in tradition, yet grows and evolves in sometimes subtle ways. Through our arrangements, our performances, and even in our leadership, it seems that everything old is new again. Our featured speaker has spent many years helping barbershop adapt to a changing world. As a chapter leader in Hunterdon County, serving in nearly every leadership role but director, a mainstay in our district leadership's family on the board, operations team, and even backstage at our conventions, and now in his second stint on the Barbershop Harmony Society's board of directors, he regularly challenges the status quo. Please welcome our 2026 Harmony College East keynote speaker, Christian Hunter.
I couldn't have said it better myself. He asked me to do that. Hello, everybody. How we doing, Harmony College East? An absolutely perfect tag. My first time here I was a baby barbershopper about 6 months in my first Harmony College East, and absolutely hook, line, and sinker jumped straight into the barbershop world thanks to this incredible event, these incredible people, all of you. To sit here and think I'm up here doing the keynote speech, I understand that the first, second, third, and fourth choices weren't available this weekend, but very, very happy to be here with you. Thank you to Deans Berlin and Colosimo. The amount of work that they put in is intense. So as you heard, my name is Christian Hunter, and I am a rebel. Some of you may already know that. And I know what you're thinking. How can a guy in a blazer and brown shoes possibly be a rebel? Well, don't worry, there's more. I have the sunglasses. I think that'll do it right now. Fully rebelled up. Here we go. But think to yourself, what does a rebel look like? Close your eyes. Work with me. Close your eyes. Think of a rebel. What's a rebel look like? Is it Charlie Sheen and Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Is it Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games? Or maybe just the classic James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause? You can open your eyes. So I'm guessing I should have worn like a leather jacket or maybe a jean jacket. That might have been a little bit more appropriate, but are you telling me that a rebel couldn't wear a red pinstripe vest, red and white vest, possibly? But I'm looking in this theater, and I see a lot of rabble-rousers here. Give yourselves a round of applause if you're a rebel. Let's hear it. All right, for the ones not applauding, just wait till I get done. I'm going to win you over. You're coming in, jumping into the deep end of the pool. So maybe you're like me, and your rebel days started when you were young. Anybody from Bucks County here? We got a few. I believe still to this day in the principal's office at Florence D. Titus Elementary School on Easton Road in Warrington is a plaque commemorating the record that I set for detentions in 4th grade, only to be broken by me the next year with another plaque for detentions in the 5th grade. I was a very incorrigible rabble-rouser, a bit of a class clown. I know some of you that know me find, no, shocker that's there, but there was not a dare that I wouldn't take, and boy, those 15 minutes of quiet at the end of the day were absolutely worth skipping the bus and riding in the Country Squire station wagon home at least 3 days a week, and I'm not exaggerating. I very rarely rode the bus. Until middle school, when the 15 minutes turned to an hour, and then if you were really good, it was 2 hours, then maybe it became an in-school suspension, then maybe the out-of-school suspension. It started getting a little bit real, but it was still worth it, until I got to high school. And then I started realizing, wait a minute, I might want to start getting my stuff together, because by about junior year, someone told me I might be good to get an A in a class that wasn't choir. Might not be a bad idea. I almost blew it. I almost did not go to college because I was just having so much fun being a little rabble-rouser myself. So I barely made it in, but I finally got into Widener University in lovely Chester, Pennsylvania. Went to orientation, and I met a girl at orientation. I was like, wow, that girl's pretty cool. Wonder if I can get to know her. And lo and behold, I get to English 105 with Mrs. Trop. And there's this girl, Tracy Andrews, and we're a few weeks in, and the teacher goes around to the class, and we're doing some public speaking exercise, and she starts going around, okay, you do your 5 minutes, or you do your 5 minutes, and he calls on Tracy Andrews, and she says, no, I'm like, this is the big time. This is college. I fought to get here. What is, it's all about us, dear. It's all about us. So she says no, and the professor just comes, well, okay, well, Mrs. Andrews, no. And then she just moved on. I'm like, all right, I'm in. I am all in. So we became rebels in love from that day on. It took a little while for me to get the courage to say hello, but she took care of that. So we made it through college. It was wonderful. I was an accounting major. What a great place for a rebel. So all my pencil pusher friends, no offense, but no, not so much. And then I took a business law class, and it changed my life. And I found, wait a minute, there might be a place for me in the law. Not on that side of the law, on the good side. I never really went that far with it, but on the good side. And it was an absolutely perfect fit, because I found that you can challenge what you thought was a truth. There might be two sides to it. And I used that in my career. I went on to become a lawyer and work in insurance. A couple things that were kind of cool that I wanted to share with you, not because I think you're going to walk around going, oh my gosh, but it is pretty neat to show you can use that rebel force for good. The state of California, we needed to have a law passed for the insurance company I was working for, and I was told flat out, there's no way that's going to happen. Just no way. So, being that attention-seeking guy that I was, we went for it. Wrote the law. I had it, worked with my lobbyist, push it through. It goes through unanimously, not a single negative vote. And now I have Arnold Schwarzenegger's autograph on a bill that I wrote in my office. That was pretty cool. That actually helped lay the foundation for workers' compensation insurance. Anybody from California ever get hurt on the job? You have me to thank for some of that. I know it's not very cool, but there's one that's a little bit more recent that you might resonate with. Anybody hear of the pandemic a few years ago? There was this COVID-19 virus, and while I was spending some time singing in a parking lot with lots of my friends, what I was doing in my day job was helping some pharmaceutical companies get their vaccine pushed through around the world. How would that have to do with insurance? Insurance companies would not inject a single arm without hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars worth of insurance coverage to back them up. If you go to Asia, they don't really like American insurance. This is even before we became even more popular. So we had to push the establishment in Asia to get them to bend a little bit and allow insurance from the US, from London, to come in and provide that coverage. Lo and behold, with that work, millions of people were able to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. If I didn't have that streak as that kid sitting in detention, everybody else I was working with was like, this is impossible. It's not going to happen. So it's that rebel that's inside that sometimes you think, oh, they're just being a rebel. It's not necessarily a bad thing, necessarily. So let me ask you guys, what's a rebel? What is a rebel to you? Anybody want to offer any just quick quips on what is a rebel, generally? Bucking the system. But that was a B, right? You're bucking the system. What else? Questions authority. Pushing the envelope. Oh, I love it. I used to help write the envelope. That was good. Quarterback from Mississippi. Wow. All right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Or was it Arkansas? Anyway, so swimming upstream and everybody's going downstream. That salmon knows, there's something good at the end of that rainbow. I like someone who breaks rules. Do you think it's somebody who defiantly and deliberately defies authority? Somebody who starts a revolution. These are some of the most famous rebels of all time. We're celebrating a big anniversary coming up for some of the biggest rebels that changed the course of human history and gave us birth to this great nation. But I think it can be a little bit more subtle. What about a nonconformist who's more interested in just being themselves and fitting into a societal norm? Anybody watch The Breakfast Club? I'm thinking Ali Sheedy more so than Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson, of course, has that look, but Ali Sheedy was just as much of a rebel as Judd Nelson's role was. Someone who asks why when they're facing a long-standing way of doing things. A person that believes passionately that it's time for change. So these are a little bit more subtle ways, but a rebel can be all of these things, whether it's being boldly rebellious or just a little bit more understated. So here we are in the illustrious halls of Harmony College East, and barbershop harmony. Another question, what's a barbershop rebel? Remember all those people who were raising their hand? There's some in this room, friends. There's some pretty amazing ones. So just for funsies, I went onto the water cooler known as Let's Talk Barbershop on Facebook. Yeah, ooh. And I asked the question, who are the most impactful barbershop rebels of all time? Hundreds of comments came in, a lot of fun reading it. It was actually very positive for the most part. But Natalie Dunkel, I don't know if Natalie's here, but Natalie, I think, nailed what is a barbershop rebel. To quote, I think of barbershop rebels as those striving for excellence, to be at the top of their craft, but on their terms, knowing that there could be pushback from those resistant to change. That's pretty awesome. That was not AI, that was ND. Pretty incredible. And I think that the contest stage is probably the most visible venue for barbershop rebels to kind of hone their craft. Would you agree? If it weren't for rebellious arrangers, performers, we'd still be following the same contest rules from the 1900s, hands down. So let's talk about some of those arrangers. If you want to talk about true underground subversion in the Barbershop Harmony Society, look no further than our arrangers. An arranger with a pencil and a blank sheet of music notation paper is quite a dangerous person. When an arranger chooses to be a rebel, they challenge the judges, they stretch the singers, they completely re-educate the audience on what four voices are capable of doing. They remind us that the rule book is a living document, and that the best way to honor tradition is to keep driving it forward. I think we have some of those arrangers here in the room with us today. Who remembers the Suntones? Boston Common, Bluegrass Student Union. So under the arrangements of Gene Cockcroft, Lou Perry, Ed Waishi, they made their gold medal runs under their watchful eye and their incredible arrangements. They figured they'll just simply outlast the current edition of the rule book until they can get rewarded, and they sure did. Now those charts are cherished chestnuts, even though they were pretty widely viewed as being controversial back in the day, very polarizing. How about Aaron Dale, bringing hot 90s country music into the medals with OC Times and Throwback? Aaron fuses his passions for barbershop and drums, transporting audiences from the contest stage to the country line dance floor. What about right here in Mid-Atlantic, a little bit more contemporary? How about Wayne Grimmer? The Grimmer! Around midnight. Oh my God, if you were around back then, there was a lot of conversation when Around Midnight took the stage. Bringing in contemporary a cappella with a little touch, some instrumentals, absolutely risque back when they first took the international stage 20 years ago. Doesn't mean to make a lot of you feel old in the house, but nowadays it's almost rebellious to not have an a cappella horn section in your top 20 contest set. But it kind of started way back then with Round Midnight. Very, very controversial. Let's fast forward to today. Take a quartet like Secret Best Friends. Are they in the house? They are here this weekend, demonstrating that you can stand out by showcasing a classic sound with modern arrangements. Definitely against the grain of kind of where things are right now. Let's move forward to the performers. Any Westminster Chorus fans in the house? The stomp and the basket toss, showing you can do some pretty amazing things on the stage with a dazzling sound to match that. The audience went, whoa, which finally went on to become canon in the barbershop world. How about Signature? Our gold medal champions, driving emotion and soul in every single chord that they sing. Their style is true. Their songs are from the albums of their childhood. Luther Vandross, Aretha Franklin, Creedence Clearwater Revival, the Jacksons. Many of these groups, many of these performers had never been covered in the contest stage until Signature came along. How about Smoke Ring? Can we get a shout out for Smoke Ring? Unmistakably authentic. Their messages of love, of pain, of individuality, pride, all expressed with confidence and strength as evident as their glitz and glamour. And yet they're still vulnerable and human. Smoke Ring may not have set out to be rebels, Yet so many young singers are empowered to sing their truth because with Smoke Ring, they see themselves. When they see a performance like I Who Have Nothing, it's simply liberating. How about GQ and Charlotte? Notably, their statement song, Where Do We Belong? A powerful statement for equality. The rebellious voice of belonging. Unapologetically making a statement that quartets can deliver world-class performances no matter what your gender is. Shout out to GQ. What about leadership in the barbershop world? That's the fun part, right? Come on, walk with me. True leadership in our society requires a touch of rebellion. You might find that surprising. To lead today means having the courage to look at our grand traditions and asking, how do we make this accessible, exciting, and irresistible to a changing world? It continues to change at a faster and faster pace. It means refusing to let bureaucracy stifle creativity. A rebellious leader is someone who protects the core of what makes us great, the harmony, the fellowship, while relentlessly tearing down the walls that keep new singers from finding us. It takes grit to stand up at a board meeting or a chapter rehearsal and champion a new idea, a new youth initiative, a bold music direction. But if we want to build a future for this art form, our leaders cannot be caretakers of a museum. They have to be architects of a movement. Marty Monson, our past CEO, author of the strategic plan that gave us everyone in harmony. He boldly took the risk to break down the all-male paradigm that existed for over 75 years. And now look around this room. We're cultivating a completely new world of barbershop like never before, thanks to him taking that risk and being a little bit of a rebel himself. Inspirational leaders like Mo Field, in the house with us this weekend, Maria Christian, and Blair Brown, who have been the voice for so many that needed to be heard behind the boardroom doors, enlightening others in their BHS leadership through sharing their personal stories, through the tears, and those of many others that need to be told so that we can truly reach the aspirations of everyone in harmony. Chapters challenging the standard paradigm like Alexandria, Gotham, Prism, Sound by Southwest, Hunterdon County, each in their own way, charting a path that's authentic to their shared identity and mission, but a clear departure from the traditional chapter model. When we sing safely, the overtones don't grow. What would the barbershop world look like without rebels? What if we spend each day in the safety of what is comfortable and tested? What if we only sang the easy stuff? The audience wouldn't lean in. The magic of barbershop doesn't happen. To expand our art form and to take our choruses and quartets to the next generation of singers, we have to be willing to break a few rules. We have to be willing to fail loudly, to try the arrangement that feels a little bit too hard, sing with a vulnerability that scares us a little, and to look at our habits and say, just because we've done it this way for so many years, we don't have to keep doing it that way. The barbershop world has rooms for rebels that fortify the roots of barbershop, as well as the rebels that expand the style in new branches. Without both, the tree dies. As you take your seats in your amazing classes this weekend, as you sing tags in the quad or sit at a table in the dining hall next to someone you just met, I hope that you'll challenge yourself. Find that rebel within. Lean into the uncomfortable. And when you sing, I challenge you to find your inner rebel. If you're a lead, don't just sing the melody. Tell a story that breaks a heart, crack a smile, or unlock a deep-seated memory. Bring that song to life. If you're a bass is in the house? Bass is in the house. Don't just provide the foundation. Drive the energy of that unit like a freight train. Tenors! Right here! Keep floating those beautiful high notes right on the edge of physics. And if you're a baritone, wow, that's like 3-1. Just keep singing the weird notes nobody else wants. You're beautiful. You, baritones, are the unsung heroes of the resistance. I hope you'll join me and use the safe space of Harmony College East to push your boundaries. Let that rebel find its voice, because just like you, I'm sure it's beautiful. Thank you all, and I hope to see you throughout the weekend.